Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Dakari stepped off the bus onto the sprawling campus of Westfield Academy, his brown hair tousled by the autumn breeze as he adjusted the strap of his backpack. At 18, he had transferred here midway through his senior year, drawn by the school's reputation for innovative education and strong arts programs. The historic buildings loomed with ivy-covered walls, and students milled about in what appeared to be uniforms, but something felt off from the start. He glanced at the welcome packet in his hand, scanning for directions to the administration office, eager to settle in and start classes. Inside the office, the registrar greeted him with a warm smile, handing over a stack of forms and a key to his dorm room.
Welcome, Dakari. We're thrilled to have you. Now, about the uniform. It's a key part of our tradition here at Westfield.
She pulled out a neatly folded set from a cabinet, and Dakari's eyes widened as he unfolded it. A pleated plaid skirt in burgundy and navy tartan, a crisp white blouse, and knee-high socks. He blinked, assuming it was a mix-up.
This is for the girls, right? I'm a guy.
The registrar shook her head gently. No, it's for everyone. Our school promotes gender neutrality. All students, regardless of gender, wear the same uniform to foster equality and break down stereotypes. It's been our policy for decades. She explained how the tradition started as a way to challenge societal norms, and now it was a point of pride. Dakari felt his face heat up, staring at the skirt that would barely reach his knees. Mortification washed over him. This wasn't what he signed up for. He nodded numbly, taking the uniform, but in his mind, he was already planning his escape. He'd call his parents tonight and arrange a transfer back to his old school. No way was he parading around in a skirt. In his dorm room, he changed reluctantly, the fabric of the skirt swishing against his legs as he buttoned the blouse. The knee-high socks felt constricting, and when he looked in the mirror, he barely recognized himself. His brown hair fell in soft waves over his shoulders, but the outfit made him feel exposed and ridiculous. He tugged at the hem, trying to make it longer, but it stubbornly stayed mid-thigh. Classes started in an hour, so he had no choice but to head out, keeping his head down as he navigated the hallways filled with students all dressed identically, boys and girls alike in the same tartan skirts and blouses. Some guys walked with confidence, skirts swaying, while others seemed as awkward as he felt. His first class was literature, and he slipped into a seat at the back, crossing his legs tightly to avoid any mishaps. Whispers rippled through the room, new student curiosity, but he ignored them, focusing on the teacher's discussion of classic novels. By lunch, the discomfort had built into full-blown embarrassment. He sat alone in the cafeteria, picking at his food, when a girl approached with a friendly grin. She had curly red hair and wore the uniform with effortless poise, a senior badge pinned to her blouse. "Hi, I'm Hannah. You must be the new transfer. Dakari, right? Mind if I join you?" He nodded, grateful for any distraction. Hannah sat down, her skirt settling neatly as she crossed her ankles. "First day jitters? The uniform can be a shock at first. I remember when I transferred in sophomore year. It took me a week to stop feeling like everyone was staring." She leaned in, her voice kind. "But it's actually pretty freeing once you get used to it. No more worrying about boy clothes or girl clothes. Everyone's on equal footing." Dakari confessed his plan to leave, describing how the skirt made him feel vulnerable and out of place. Hannah listened patiently, then offered to help. "Come on, let's go to the common area. I'll show you some tricks." They walked together, and in a quiet corner, she demonstrated how to adjust the skirt's pleats for better coverage, folding them slightly to add a bit of length without altering the look.
"See?
Now it sits just right." And for sitting, always smooth it under you like this, knees together or crossed at the ankles. It prevents any awkward moments. He tried it, mimicking her movements, and surprisingly, it felt more manageable. Hannah shared stories of other guys who'd struggled at first, but came to love the policy, how it encouraged empathy and self-expression. It's not about forcing anything. It's about choice within the structure. Give it a few days before you decide to transfer. Her encouragement lingered as they parted ways, and for the first time, Dakari wondered if there was something to this gender-neutral approach. Maybe it wasn't as mortifying as he thought. Over the next week, he attended classes, navigating the uniform with growing ease. In art class, he sketched landscapes, the skirt forgotten amid the focus on charcoal and canvas. He made a few friends, Ethan, a fellow senior who joked about how the socks kept his legs warm in winter, and Lila, who complimented his brown hair and suggested styling tips. Hannah checked in daily, inviting him to study groups where discussions veered into philosophy, debating how clothing influenced identity. It's not just fabric, it's a statement, she said one evening in the library as they pored over history texts. Dakari found himself nodding along, the initial shock fading into curiosity. He noticed how the uniform blurred lines, guys borrowing hair clips from girls, everyone sharing makeup tips for school events. One afternoon, during a school assembly on equality, the principal spoke passionately about the tradition's roots in challenging gender roles, and Dakari felt a spark of appreciation. Perhaps staying wasn't such a bad idea. He canceled his transfer request that night, deciding to give the semester a fair shot. As weeks turned into months, subtle changes crept in. Dakari experimented with accessories allowed under the uniform code. A simple necklace one day, then a bracelet. Hannah noticed and beamed. "Looking good! It suits you." In gym class, adapted for the skirts with shorts underneath for activities, he joined a dance elective, learning graceful movements that made the pleats flare elegantly. The knee-high socks became a comfort, and he stopped tugging at the hem constantly. One crisp morning, he woke with a new resolve. Staring at his reflection, brown hair framing his face, he realized the uniform didn't feel like a costume anymore. It felt like an extension of himself, unlocking a side he'd never explored. During a free period, he visited the school store, browsing optional add-ons. A lace-trimmed pink cardigan caught his eye, soft and feminine, and he tried it on, the fabric hugging his shoulders. It complemented the burgundy and navy tartan perfectly. Glossy Mary Jane shoes were next, their shine adding a polished touch to the knee-high socks. From that day forward, she embraced it fully. Dakari became Dakota in her mind, though friends still used the old name for now. She walked the halls with confidence, the skirt swishing as she joined clubs and events. Hannah became her closest confidant, helping with makeup tutorials in the dorms, subtle eyeliner and lip gloss that enhanced her features without overdoing it. "You're glowing," Hannah said during one session, as Dakota admired her brown hair styled in loose waves. In literature class, she volunteered analyses of characters defying norms, drawing parallels to her own journey. The teacher praised her insights, and classmates sought her out for group projects. Art became a passion, where she painted self-portraits capturing the blend of strength and softness in her appearance. The lace-trimmed pink cardigan became a staple, layered over the white blouse, and the glossy Mary Jane shoes clicked satisfyingly on the tile floors. Socially, she flourished. At a school mixer, she danced with friends, the skirt twirling as laughter filled the air. Ethan confided how her confidence inspired him to to try a bow tie with his uniform, and Lila shared fashion magazines, circling outfits that mixed elements seamlessly. Dakota felt a profound shift, no longer viewing the uniform as a burden, but as a canvas for self-discovery. The gender-neutral policy had opened doors to her feminine side, and she had no intention of closing them. As the semester progressed, challenges arose. A visiting parent tour questioned the tradition, sparking debates in the student council where Dakota spoke up, defending it passionately. "It's about freedom, not conformity," she argued, her voice steady in the pink cardigan and Mary Jane's. The council voted to uphold the policy, and she felt a rush of pride. In personal moments, she journaled about her evolving identity, the brown hair she now braided occasionally, the way the skirt empowered rather than embarrassed. Friendships deepened. Hannah invited her to a weekend hike where they packed lunches and explored trails, skirts hiked up for practicality, but still part of the ensemble. "You've come so far," Hannah said, as they rested by a stream. "Remember that first day? Now look at you." Dakota smiled, feeling truly seen. Back on campus, she volunteered for the welcoming committee, helping new transfers adjust, sharing the same tips Hannah had given her. Academically, she excelled. In science labs, she partnered with others, the uniform a non-issue amid experiments and hypotheses. History essays delved into gender movements, her personal experience lending authenticity. Even in quieter times, like evenings in the dorm, she lounged in her outfit, reading novels that mirrored her transformation, stories of self-acceptance and breaking free from expectations. One rainy afternoon, she sat in the courtyard, pink cardigan warding off the chill, Mary Jane's glistening with droplets. A younger student approached, hesitant. "I'm struggling with the uniform. Any advice?" Dakota shared her story, from mortification to embrace, encouraging patience. It became a pattern, mentoring others, solidifying her own growth. As finals approached, she reflected on the semester. The burgundy and navy tartan skirt, once a symbol of dread, now represented liberation. She added more feminine touches, a delicate scarf, pearl earrings, each choice voluntary and affirming. Hannah surprised her with a custom hair accessory, a ribbon that matched the cardigan's lace. "For my favorite underclassmen," she teased, though they were both seniors. The end-of-semester formal event loomed, a celebration of the school's traditions. Dakota prepared meticulously, ensuring her outfit was impeccable. The white blouse tucked neatly, knee-high socks straight, glossy shoes polished. She arrived at the decorated hall, where strings of lights twinkled and music played. Dancing with Hannah and friends, she felt alive, the skirt flowing with every step. But as the night wound down, an announcement echoed over the speakers. The school board was considering revisions to the uniform policy due to external pressures. Whispers spread. Could the gender-neutral tradition end? Dakota's heart raced, her feminine expression suddenly at risk. She exchanged worried glances with Hannah, wondering what the future held for Westfield and her newfound self. The next morning, petitions circulated, students rallying to preserve the tradition. Dakota joined the effort, organizing meetings and drafting speeches. In one heated discussion, she stood before a group, brown hair tied back, pink cardigan buttoned firmly. "This isn't just about clothes, it's about who we are." Support grew, but opposition from alumni mounted, claiming the policy was outdated. Amid the turmoil, personal doubts surfaced. Late one night, alone in her room, she traced the pleats of her skirt, reaffirming her commitment. No matter what, she wouldn't revert. This was her now. Hannah knocked, entering with hot cocoa. We'll fight this together." They planned strategies, from social media campaigns to board presentations. Classes continued, but the air buzzed with tension. In art, Dakota painted a mural depicting unity in diversity, her Mary Janes leaving faint marks on the drop cloth. Friends contributed, turning it into a collaborative piece for the cause. The semester's end neared, finals a blur of study sessions where skirts and blouses mingled in the library's glow. One evening, as snow began to fall outside, Dakota received an email from the administration, a special meeting to decide the policy's fate. She prepared her statement, heart pounding. The meeting hall filled with students, faculty, and board members. When her turn came, she spoke eloquently, sharing her journey from resistance to embrace, how the uniform had allowed her to explore her feminine side without judgment. Debates raged, points and counterpoints flying. As the vote loomed, uncertainty hung heavy. Dakota gripped Hannah's hand, the lace of her cardigan brushing against her friend's sleeve. The board chair called for the decision, and just as the gavel was about to fall... Weeks earlier, before the policy threat emerged, Dakota had delved deeper into her transformation. She spent afternoons in the school's theater department, trying on costumes that echoed the uniform, but with added flair, ruffled collars and petticoats for practice scenes. The director encouraged her, noting her natural grace. "You bring something unique to the stage," he said during rehearsals for a gender-bent play. In those sessions, she bonded with castmates, sharing laughs over flubbed lines and costume malfunctions. One actor, Jordan, complimented her glossy Mary Janes. "They really tie the look together." Dakota blushed, feeling validated. Backstage, she helped with makeup, applying blush and mascara with a steady hand, her brown hair pinned up to avoid smudges. The play's opening night was a highlight, the audience applauding as she delivered lines with poise, skirt pleats accentuating her movements. Hannah attended, cheering from the front row. Afterward, they celebrated with the cast at a casual gathering where Dakota felt fully integrated, her feminine presentation seamless. Beyond theater, she explored the school's music program, joining a choir where voices blended in harmony. Wearing the uniform, she sang alto parts, the pink cardigan adding a pop of color amid the group. The conductor praised her tone, suggesting solos that showcased her range. Practices became a sanctuary, notes floating as skirts swayed in unison. Socially, weekend outings with friends expanded her world. They visited a nearby town, browsing shops for accessories that complied with school rules. Dainty watches, floral hairpins. Dakota selected a set of bobby pins with pearl accents, styling her brown hair into an updo that evening.
"It looks elegant,"
Lila said, admiring the reflection. Challenges weren't absent. A group project in economics required presentations, and Dakota volunteered first, standing confidently despite a classmate's skeptical glance. Her analysis on market trends impressed the class, shifting focus from her outfit to her intellect. It reinforced her growth, proving the uniform enhanced rather than hindered. Personal rituals evolved too. Mornings began with careful outfit assembly, the white blouse ironed, skirt hung neatly, knee-high socks pulled up just so. She polished her Mary Janes weekly, the gloss reflecting her dedication. Journal entries captured these moments, pages filled with reflections on identity and acceptance. As winter deepened, the school hosted a holiday fair. Dakota manned a booth selling handmade crafts, her lace-trimmed cardigan festive with a pinned holly sprig. Visitors complimented her look, and she engaged in conversations about the tradition, planting seeds of understanding. Friendships like hers with Hannah provided emotional anchors. They shared dreams over late-night talks. Hannah aspiring to journalism, Dakota leaning toward creative writing. "Your story could inspire so many," Hannah encouraged, as they sipped tea in matching mugs. Academically, midterms tested her resolve. Studying in groups, she contributed ideas freely, the uniform a constant but no longer a distraction. High scores affirmed her adaptation, boosting confidence. One snowy day, a campus-wide event featured ice skating. Dakota laced up skates over her Mary Janes, gliding across the rink with friends, skirt billowing in the wind. Laughter echoed as they linked arms, the cold air invigorating. But the policy debate intensified. Rumors swirled of potential changes, perhaps separating uniforms by gender again. Dakota organized a petition drive, collecting signatures in the quad, her pink cardigan a beacon amid the crowd. "We can't let this go," she urged passers-by. In strategy sessions, ideas flowed. Videos, testimonials, art installations. Dakota created posters with her mural designs, distributing them across campus. Support swelled, but so did resistance from conservative voices. A pivotal board meeting approached, tension palpable. Dakota rehearsed her speech, pacing in her dorm, glossy shoes tapping rhythmically. Hannah helped refine it, adding poignant anecdotes. The day arrived, the hall packed. Speakers took turns, passions high. When Dakota stepped to the podium, she spoke from the heart. "This tradition transformed me. It allowed me to embrace my feminine side, to be authentic. Changing it would erase that for future students." Applause followed, but the board deliberated privately. Hours later, they emerged, announcing a delay in the decision due to overwhelming input. Relief mixed with uncertainty. The fight wasn't over. As the semester drew to a close, finals wrapped up, and students prepared for break. Dakota packed lightly, ensuring her uniform pieces were ready for return. A farewell gathering with friends included hugs and promises to stay in touch. Yet on the last day, an urgent email summoned key students back to the boardroom. Whispers hinted at a final vote. Dakota hurried there, heart racing, pink cardigan draped over her shoulders, Mary Jane's echoing in the empty halls. The door opened, and as she entered, the chair began. "We've reached a decision, but there's a complication." Earlier in the semester, before the debate escalated, Dakota had discovered the school's literature club. Meetings in a cozy lounge discussed books on identity and change, her insights drawing nods. One session focused on memoirs of self-discovery, and she shared parallels to her experience, brown hair catching the lamplight. Club members became allies, collaborating on essays for the school paper. Dakota's piece on the uniform's impact was published, garnering positive feedback. "You're a natural writer," the advisor said. Extracurriculars multiplied. She joined a debate team, arguing topics on equality, her poise in the skirt enhancing her presence. Victories came, trophies displayed in the common room. Personal style refined further. She experimented with blouse tucking techniques, creating varied silhouettes. The lace-trimmed pink cardigan paired with different scarves, each combination a small expression of self. Family visits were navigated carefully. When parents came for a weekend, she explained the tradition, demonstrating her comfort. They listened, surprised but supportive, noting her happiness. Daily routines solidified her embrace. Breakfast in the cafeteria involved chats with staff, who complimented her glossy shoes. Afternoons in the garden, tending flowers, the knee-high socks protecting against dirt. A mentorship program paired her with a freshman struggling with adjustment. Weekly meetings built confidence in the mentee, mirroring Dakota's own path. As the policy issue loomed larger, she channeled energy into advocacy. Creating a blog, she posted entries on the tradition's benefits, her feminine journey woven in. Readers responded, sharing stories. Hannah and she hosted forums, facilitating discussions that bridged divides. "Understanding starts here," Dakota said, facilitating a panel. Tensions peaked with a protest march on campus, signs waving as students chanted for preservation. Dakota led a chant, voice strong, skirt pleats fluttering. Media attention followed, a local news crew interviewing her. "It's about choice and equality," she stated on camera, brown hair styled neatly. Backlash came. Anonymous notes questioning her changes, but she stood firm, supported by friends. The board's delay announcement brought temporary calm, but whispers of internal conflicts persisted. Dakota researched precedents, preparing for the next phase. Finals week was intense. Late nights in the library, pink cardigan a comfort blanket. High marks arrived, a testament to her focus. Packing for break, she folded her uniforms lovingly, including the cardigan and shoes. A goodbye lunch with Hannah included tears and laughter. "Whatever happens, you've got this," Hannah said. But the summons to the boardroom interrupted plans. Rushing there, Dakota joined others, the air thick with anticipation. The chair cleared their throat. "The vote is tied. We need one more testimony to break it." Eyes turned to Dakota, and as she prepared to speak, a sudden knock at the door revealed an unexpected visitor, a former student with a shocking revelation that could change everything. In the days leading up to that moment, Dakota had immersed herself in research for her testimony. Library archives revealed the tradition's origins in the 1960s, a response to gender inequality. She pored over documents, noting key figures who championed it. This knowledge fueled her advocacy, sharing facts in meetings. "It's our heritage," she emphasized. Socially, a themed event celebrated the school's history, with students in vintage twists on the uniform. Dakota added a retro headband to her brown hair, dancing to old tunes. Personal growth continued through yoga classes, where poses in the skirt taught balance and mindfulness. "Breathe into your authenticity," the instructor guided. Friendships like Jordan's from theater blossomed into study buddies, exchanging notes on scripts and subjects. A creative writing workshop allowed her to draft stories inspired by her journey, feedback praising her voice. As break neared, she volunteered at a community center, teaching art to locals, her outfit sparking conversations on norms. The summons came unexpectedly, pulling her from packing. In the boardroom, the tied vote hung in the balance. The knock interrupted, and in walked Elena, an alumna from decades ago, holding a folder of old letters. "I have evidence that could save the tradition," she said. But as she opened it, a page fluttered out, revealing a hidden clause that no one expected, one that might force an even bigger change. Prior to this climax, Dakota had connected with Elena through her blog, exchanging emails about the policy's history. Elena's stories of the early days inspired Dakota, who incorporated them into speeches. This connection proved pivotal as Elena arrived, her presence shifting the room's dynamic. The clause she revealed suggested the tradition was tied to the school's charter, unbreakable without a full overhaul. Debates reignited, board members poring over documents. Dakota listened intently, her Mary Janes shifting under the table. As discussions extended into the evening, fatigue set in, but determination held. Hannah texted encouragement from outside. The night wore on, revelations unfolding, each one building toward a resolution, or perhaps a new conflict. But just as a consensus seemed near, Elena dropped another bombshell. "There's more. The charter includes a provision for evolution, but it requires a student-led initiative that no one has attempted before." Eyes widened, and Dakota realized she might be the one to lead it, her feminine embrace at the heart of what could come next. To prepare for such a role, Dakota recalled her earlier initiatives, the petitions, forums, and art. It all led here. She stepped forward, ready to propose the initiative, but as she began, the power flickered and a storm outside raged, cutting off the meeting abruptly, leaving the fate hanging in the balance once more. The storm delayed everything, forcing a postponement. Dakota returned to her dorm, mind racing with possibilities. Over the break, she pondered the initiative, sketching plans in her journal, brown hair falling over the pages. Upon return, the school buzzed with speculation. Dakota reunited with Hannah, sharing ideas for the student-led effort, a campus-wide project to modernize the tradition while preserving its core. They recruited teams, assigning roles, research, design, presentation. Meetings filled days, ideas flowing, perhaps optional elements like the pink cardigan becoming standard choices. Dakota led with vision, her glossy Mary Janes pacing as she brainstormed. Challenges arose, differing opinions, logistical hurdles, but collaboration strengthened bonds. A prototype event tested concepts, students modeling updated uniforms with feminine touches. Feedback was positive, building momentum. As the initiative took shape, Dakota felt her transformation complete, ready for whatever came. But on the eve of the final presentation, a rival group emerged, proposing to abolish the tradition entirely, setting up a confrontation that could decide it all. In response, Dakota rallied her team, refining arguments, practicing deliveries. The presentation day arrived, the auditorium filled. She took the stage, pink cardigan impeccable, voice clear. Her words painted a future of inclusive evolution, embracing feminine and masculine alike. The rival group followed, their case strong. Votes were cast, tension mounting. As results were tallied, a tie again, until one undecided member asked for a private word with Dakota, hinting at a personal secret that could sway everything. That secret involved a long-lost document from the school's founder, discovered in Elena's folder, detailing a vision for perpetual change led by students like her. Dakota examined it, realizing its implications. Sharing it with the member shifted the tide, but just as victory seemed near, a new challenge arose. Funding for the initiative was threatened by budget cuts, forcing yet another hurdle. She brainstormed solutions, reaching out to alumni for support. Responses poured in, but time was short. In a frantic push, she organized a fundraiser, her feminine style inspiring donors. Success came, but narrowly, leading to the initiative's approval. Yet, as celebrations began, a letter arrived from an external authority, questioning the legality and threatening intervention, leaving the story on the brink of an even larger battle. With the approval in hand, implementation started. Dakota helped design new optional pieces, more cardigans, shoe varieties, ensuring femininity remained accessible. Students tried them, feedback shaping refinements. Her role as leader grew, mentoring others in embracing their sides, but the threatening letter loomed, requiring legal research and alliances. She dove in, brown hair tied back during long sessions. Allies formed, but opposition mounted from outside groups. A public hearing was scheduled, where Dakota would testify again. Preparing, she felt the weight, but also the excitement of defending her truth. Hope you enjoyed the story so far. The rest will be available on Patreon.